Brenner, who is also professor of neurobiology at the University of Texas, did a study in the Health Journal National Institutes of Health Journal, Environmental Health Perspectives, saying almost all commercially available plastics that were tested leached synthetic estrogens. Nearly all, even the ones that say BPA free.
Well, if you missed the story a few weeks ago, let me catch you up. The plastic that says BPA free often contains BPS, which is just as toxic as BPA. The plastic contains estrogen-like compounds, and the most recent studies show that these compounds can mess up your hormones and increase the size of fat cells and your risk of obesity. So when you buy an acidic or a fatty food in a plastic container, try to move it to glass, porcelain, or stainless steel once it's opened. I save glass jars and also buy glass mason jars from the hardware store. You can get about a dozen of these for less than $10.
Because the FDA is the official regulating agency for BPA, we would assume that in addition to this, they would also regulate BPS. Because the FDA is responsible for protecting the public health by assuring the safety, efficacy, and security of human and veterinary drugs, biological products, medical devices, our nation's food supply, cosmetics, and products that emit radiation, we can assume that the FDA should be responsible for the regulation of BPS.
When we go for that BPA-free bottle, we're not always going to get something that's completely free of this chemical, because the manufacturers, in fact, can tweak this molecule a little bit. Now, technically, it's BPA, not BPA, it's BPS, maybe. And so it's a similar molecule that can have just as bad activities on the body. So BPA-free doesn't necessarily mean safe, and that's kind of scary.
The Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, is an agency of the federal government, which was created for the purpose of protecting human health and the environment by writing and enforcing regulations based on laws passed by Congress. The FDA employs over 15,000 people across the country, located in all states except for Wyoming. In addition, there are offices located in China, India, Europe, the Middle East, Latin America, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. The EPA employs over 17,000 people across the country. Its offices are located in Washington, D.C., Boston, San Francisco, Seattle, Denver, Kansas City, Chicago, Dallas, Atlanta, New York City, and Philadelphia. Bisphenol S is an organic compound with the formula HOC6H42SO2. It has two phenyl function groups on either side of the sulfonyl group. It is commonly used in curling, fast-drying epoxy resin adhesives. BPS is also found in some thermal paper cash register receipts and appears to have the same similar effects as BPA. BPS can disrupt a cell's normal functioning, which could potentially lead to metabolic disorders such as diabetes and obesity, asthma, birth defects, or even cancer. Cell culture tests suggest that BPA and BPS have similar effects. In order to fix the problem with BPS, a replacement chemical can be used that is not an endocrine disruptor. We can also promote other use of materials such as glass or stainless steel appliances. In order to remove BPS and other endocrine disruptors from being used, the FDA and EPA can make it illegal for producers to use any chemical that is an endocrine disruptor. The FDA can also work with the government to subsidize glass and aluminum products and heavily tax plastic products that have endocrine disruptors.